Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back to my latest video. I'm just trying to get a little bit more festive there. So I got my hat, got little ornaments, and some Christmas toe socks on. Anyways, welcome to my latest video. For those who are new, welcome. I hope you enjoy these videos, and if you do, consider subscribing and, maybe hitting that little bell icon to get notifications for when I put up new content. I basically just like to talk about films that I enjoy and I want to make a little video about to kind of share with everybody. I'd rather just focus on the ones that I enjoy rather than trashing ones that I don't. Anyways, I'm just trying to mix things up from my usual intro there. And so I watched another film to kind of ring in the holiday season. It was a rewatch actually, and there'll be more on that at the end. So it's not only a holiday horror entry, but also an entry in my second chance cinema, which again, I'll mention that at the end, so be sure to stick around. So this film that I just checked out again, rewatched, was Anna and the Apocalypse from 2017. The synopsis for this is as follows. A zombie apocalypse threatens the sleepy town of Little Haven at Christmas, forcing Anna and her friends to fight, slash, and sing their way to survival, facing the undead in a desperate race to reach their loved ones. So did you catch that little part mixed in there? Sing. Yep, along with this one being a Christmas film and set in Britain at a high school around, with all these zombies coming after them, it's also a musical. So that brings in this whole other aspect to this film that you have to kind of keep in mind before you dive in. So I've always had a hard time myself making out song lyrics. I don't know what it is. I know currently I have a lot of tinnitus going on and everything, but so sometimes I'll shy away from one band in favor of another because the lyrics stick out more, and the same things happens with musical. Let's take another one, Repo the Genetic Opera worked really well for me, but something about either the mix or the way it was sung in the follow-up, The Devil's Carnival, really didn't work for me at all. So the first time that I saw Anna and the Apocalypse, I know it didn't go that well for me for more reasons, which I'm going to talk about at the end. I have a quick little story there, but I've been wanting to kind of give it another chance from that first weekend that I tried to check it out. So this time I turned on the subtitles, which I highly recommend because it did make it a bit better to be able to read all those lyrics along with it and make sure I understand what's going on, because the lyrics in a musical, if they're done well, can tell the story just as much as the dialogue does. And in this case, it did really well with that because, so aside from the music, this is a very festive film, lots of Christmas going on, lots of comedy, like another great British zombie comedy, Shaun of the Dead. This one also mixes in quite a bit of gore and humor into all of that. That works pretty well. So, however, the gore is not over the top. Now, we do get some kills and some scenes where we do get some really intense, quick grossness going on, which I just love. But it's never ongoing and repetitive or distracting from the story. It's never put there just for the sake of being there. And I never grew tired of it or desensitized to it. We get some relatively tame zombie stuff thrown in there, and then all of a sudden something pops up that we get one of those really cool kills, and it really sticks out and it shocks us a bit more as this excellent gross kill we get to see, in contrast to anything that built up to it. This is the same for both the jump scares and the comedy in this. It's all put in place very well, especially with the musical numbers when it comes to, the comedy aspect of it. And I feel like it's easy to throw in a little bit too much of one thing or the other and overshadow something. But this one, they did a good job of kind of balancing all those different themes and aspects of telling a story. So, throughout the story, you also get some common themes as expected in a zombie film, and they're all handled really well. But where I think this one stands out is that on top of that comedy and horror and gore, the music, the working in Christmas that feels better executed than simply putting on some wrapping paper on another story, so to speak. They spend a good time with this, getting us to connect with these characters throughout it, and especially in the beginning, so that we actually care if something happens to them when they're on the run. And as I said in the beginning especially, it's about 30 minutes before much of anything zombie related really happens. So they're setting it up as far as who these characters are, how they're related to each other, their different friendships, families, what their high school plans are, what's really happening in their lives. So as you move it along, you almost forget, oh yeah, this is a zombie film, which kind of heightens that impact of the horror and gore side of this. So as you get through that, you almost forget it's even a horror movie until it really starts coming about and it really sticks well. And then also littered throughout it, they give you a lot of these little dramatic points here and there. So, you know, your emotions really get scattered in the best way. You're like, do I laugh at this? Or, oh shit, a head was just smashed, you know? It's like, oh, it's Christmas. That looks pretty and everything. And then, oh, well, that's a really sad scene. And that kill is disgusting. And, okay, now they're singing. So you really get pulled all over, which I think makes this one a whole lot of fun. Needless to say, you know, not only am I recommending it, but it's also, I feel it's very original, mixing all those things together and being able to pull it off as well as they did. So we get this nice British horror, comedy, holiday musical that, you know, as we follow these characters across town, you know, some of them are just trying to find their loved ones or make sense of a situation, see where they can go for, you know, to keep themselves safe and to survive this. But it's really worth checking out. And is a lot of fun, and personally I really think that the soundtrack is great as well. Now, as for those other items that I said to stick around to the end for, I got two here. The first one, like I said, you have to know what you're getting into with this. A friend of mine had suggested this film years ago for a holiday movie night that I was having. Every year, you know, we usually have 1 or 2 standard films that we always try to watch, and then we try to work in something new. So they recommended this, and I saw a trailer for it, and I thought, okay, I'll rent it. I actually had to pay for the rental. But it did not go well. I don't think it was alcohol related. I mean, I wasn't drinking then, but nobody had really gotten drunk enough yet, but they just did not take to it. Partially because they just didn't even know that it was going to be a musical. So by the time everybody starts singing, nobody was paying any attention, so they didn't understand, since they weren't listening to the lyrics of the song, what the story was about. And they kind of demanded that I turn it off, and then 4 months later COVID hit. I don't think it's related to the movie, but you know, anyways, it is a virus. But yeah, so the whole thing just failed. So the next day I, you know, rewatched it on my own, still a bit disappointed that it didn't go that well the night before, and I remember kind of liking it, but always wanting to take more time away from it and give it a second chance where I can really pay attention and try to take it all in. That brings me up to my second point. You know, the second chance cinema quote that I said at the beginning is that, you know, sometimes a movie just doesn't work well for me. You know, for some reason I don't like it, but looking at what it's about or who's in it, I should have liked it. And when that happens, sometimes I figure, let me wait a few months, or maybe just someday in a year or two, I'll check it out for a second time with a different mindset going in, kind of knowing what to expect, and see if I can enjoy it. And if I do, great. And I like to make a little video about it, so I did make some others. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I've been focusing on the Hammer films, Friday the 13th franchise, Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and now I'm launching into the, you know, into the holidays. But I do have some of those videos out there that I'm going to link to within the description. I'm probably just going to put like the entire playlist in there, but you can go ahead and poke around my catalog to see what other items I have in there in case you feel like checking them out. Speaking of checking out, thanks for checking out this latest video of mine and for sticking around to the end. You know, watching this full video, and especially if you've hit that bell icon to get those notifications for new videos, which are, you know, between 1 and 3 times a week, as it really helps a lot. Meaning that, from what I've heard from other YouTubers that have more established channels or ones that have been around longer, hopping in to watch that video within its first hour of being posted is really going to help the algorithm kind of see that it's there, see that there's interest, and start recommending it more. Whenever, you know, YouTubers always mention about liking, subscribing, hitting that bell, sharing the content, all of that is what really makes channels grow. You know, the algorithm tries to figure things out and share stuff around. People might do some searches that the algorithm kind of points them to your page, but really getting in there in that first hour, being subscribed, sharing it around, it really is the viewers who really help the channel and the community build to be able to check these out. So I just wanted to put that out there, that's why so many YouTubers, including myself, put all that within their videos. Even though it's very repetitive and annoying, it is very important because the help that, you know, you viewers give just really goes a long way. Anyways, thanks again for checking out this video and sticking around to the end especially. Anna and the Apocalypse is available from a few different sources, but the one that I always highly recommend is Shudder. You can head over to shudder.com, and I'll put a link to Shudder and to their title for Anna and the Apocalypse in the description. You know, maybe sign up for a free trial to check out this film, and also to check out some of the other, you know, great horror and thriller stuff that they have in their back catalog. They got stuff from as far back as like Nosferatu to stuff made currently specifically for Shudder. It's a service really worth checking out. But yeah, that's it. Thanks again for checking us out. Anna and Apocalypse 2017, and we'll see you in the next one. Happy holidays.